Hello, this is Show Love, and I'm Bronwen Murphy. Thank you to all the lovely people who have contacted me to say they're listening, and my mind is blown that people from all over the world are tuning in. Thank you, and hello to you. Today, Show Love is concentrating on self-love and building a life you love, especially for men. At a time where women are being recognised more and with their great empowerment, the working man, the professional highly driven man trying to achieve purpose and balance in their life, seems to have many that are struggling and still finding it hard to talk to others, trying to cope alone and numbing their feelings. Danny Wicks, the performance coach, is here to tell you his experience and a programme he has developed to help. So I'm joined today by Danny Wicks, who's here to talk about his new company, Core Perform. So tell me about Core Perform, Danny.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
So Core Perform is a business that's focused on men, and it really is about helping highly driven men achieve purpose, balance, whilst delivering exceptional results.
That sounds amazing. There's a lot of key words in there for the professional man, I'd imagine.
A few years ago, I spent a lot of time looking into myself, quite in depth, and one of the things that came through with coming up with Core Perform is men struggle in certain areas of their life, and one of the big questions and things that we struggle with is, where am I going? What am I doing? I.e. your purpose, and then how am I going to do all the things that I'm trying to do now, whilst trying to deliver all these results that I'm expected to deliver as a man in today's society. So hence why you've got the purpose and the balance in there as Richie, which is core to your performance. Hence why we've got Core Perform.
So tell me about what made you want to do this.
So about 5-6 years ago, I spent most of my career in the city, working in the corporate banking world, and I was a 30-something man, married with 2 children, and everything in my life at that time evolved around my career and being seen to be a success.
With a lot of pressure, I'd imagine.
There was huge amounts of pressure,
yeah.
and not just pressure that other people put on you, pressure you put on yourself,
yeah.
Right? Because there's that I have to be successful mentality that some men have, and I got to a point where I was doing a lot of travelling. My children were quite young, so I think my son was probably about 7, and my daughter was 5 then. And I was travelling the world, and I was going to Romania, I was going to Chicago, and I was just so focused on my work. And then I started to suffer with what is now would be called anxiety, because it was becoming too much. I was putting so much pressure on myself, and the anxiety become worse. And
how did that show? What?
So I would have panic attacks.
Yeah.
You know, I would have panic attacks. I'd get on a plane. I'd be sitting there on a plane waiting for takeoff, and I just had this unbelievable fear sitting inside me, but I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
I was sitting there with complete anxiety, and to everyone outside, I am like Mr. I got it all.
Confident.
I got it all. I got it all on show,
you're
right?
A very confident man. So, yeah.
And so this anxiety started to show, and I was thinking, what's causing this? And then I started to realise I wasn't seeing my children, and then I started to realise I wasn't seeing my wife, and I started to realise I didn't know really what was going on. But meanwhile, I was so focused on just earning money. And you
were doing really well at work, though.
Yeah, I was. You know, I was been working. I was selling businesses. I was restructuring businesses. I was working for one of the biggest banks in the world at that time, and it was an unbelievable role and opportunity.
Yeah.
Like, you've been given this great job. You're kind of I've done it, and then you think you've done it, and then you go, have I?
What have I done it for?
What have I done it for?
Life,
right?
work, balance.
Yeah, and you start to then question yourself, and a lot of doubt sets in as do I really want this? And it became really hard. You know, I started to... I drank quite a lot, I'll be honest. I was drinking...
Forget?
I was drinking to what I call sedate. I was kind of... It would be the thing I'd go and do just to make myself feel a bit better.
Yeah.
Right? Or to get to sleep at night, I'd go and have a few drinks, or I would drink this. And then you'd kind of... Some kind of things would also start to happen where you become quite impulsive. You know, you just kind of do things just to get that up buzz, and your mindset was all about how can I find the next buzz rather than just staying calm.
So what were you doing? What impulsive stuff?
Well, I'd do things like I'd rashly spend money, or I would binge on food, like little things. And there was traits that were coming through where I was just, how can I describe it? I was always searching for something.
Yeah.
I wasn't just happy.
So this is how people would maybe start gambling or taking drugs.
Yeah, it's got, it's like addictive personality. It's like, you've got that, and I mean, a lot of men that have this trait where it's the trait of sedation, right? Where you're going into things and doing things when you know it's not quite right, but you kind of do it.
Yeah.
And you can't get yourself out of it. And I wouldn't say I was a complete alcoholic or anything like that, but I recognised I wasn't. My behaviours weren't right.
Yeah.
So I had to get some help.
And did your wife notice this?
Yeah. And I think that was the hard thing, is that the children and my wife. It was quite hard on them because I was going off travelling, coming home, and then what would happen is when you got all the stress, you download it on someone else that's closest to you.
Yeah.
Right. So when you're stressed, it's always somebody else's problem. I find for men, you kind of go, oh, it's their problem, right?
Yeah.
You kind of blame everyone else when really deep down.
And what was the turning point for you to go, I need to get help?
The anxiety become worse to the point I was on a flight to Chicago where they had me. I was in so much anxiety that they had to kind of just calm me down. I was wanting to get off the plane, like with 36,000 feet in the air, and at that point, you hit a point of realisation, and you go, I can't do this anymore, right? And you hit the point, and if anyone's been at that point, you know what I'm talking about, right? Where you kind of know enough's enough.
Yeah.
I can't keep doing it, and I can't keep lying to myself, right? Because that's what I was doing. I was lying. I wasn't like telling the biggest lies, but I was lying to everyone. I was saying, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Well, because you've got to be, because you're the man, right? I've got to be seen to be fine. I can cope with this.
Yeah, you got to be seen as I've got it all covered. I've got it nailed. But actually, what I've realised for this is okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
And the people that have come out and say it's okay to not be okay, or I'm not okay, when you take that weight off your shoulders, it is the most unbelievable feeling, because actually no one's really judging you, only you're judging you.
Wow, really?
Right? Because you think everyone's going to judge you.
Yeah.
But when you turn around, or someone turns around and says, I'm having a really hard time, I just need some help, how do you react?
Oh, you're there, you want to help them, yeah.
And that's how it was for me at that time. So I got help, and it was a long journey.
So where did you go for help?
So I spent some time working with some cognitive behavioural therapy. I went through that, which worked quite well. And then I decided I enjoyed it. I suddenly realised that actually I quite enjoy some of this. How can I get involved in this? And I found coaching. And I, as you know, I enrolled in a coaching program.
And became a very good life coach.
And became well, thank you, a coach. And and someone always said to me, the first thing you do when you undertake coaching or get involved in coaching is you learn to coach yourself. And that's what happens, really. You have to take a big look at yourself and hold the mirror up and go, is this the person I want to be?
And what did you see?
I saw a guy that was mid to late 30s that wasn't sure where he was going. Had everything, everything, honestly. You couldn't say anything was wrong. It's just that I wasn't sure where I was going.
Yeah.
I was lost. And that was the journey that started me on to where I am now, really. And going through the coaching program, training to be a coach, kind of really got me excited.
Yeah.
But then after the coaching training finished, I thought, what do I do now? I had this tool and this ability, but I thought, how do I do anything with it? And what I found myself doing was, in my existing consulting business, it was becoming natural. It was like I was just naturally getting into coaching, and I've always been thinking about, what do I do? How do I turn this into anything? And I invested more, and I did some more training, and I've worked with some of the best coaches around that have given me more of an insight into myself, that has enabled me to start to put together a business which at the moment is really about helping guys in business that just need somewhere to go. Yeah. And that's what I'm doing.
Because you kind of looked around and didn't really know where to go.
No, I didn't know where to go. Right? Where does a man go, right? Right? If you go home and you take it home, you're thinking, am I burdening everyone with my problems? You go to a doctor, they might just give you a load of tablets, right? You go to a psychologist or a counsellor, they may want to unravel your past, but you might not be ready at that point. No. So it's like, where do I go?
You want to move forward.
And and you want to move forward, and you know, working with the coaches I've worked with that have really inspired me, they made me do that. I didn't need what I thought I was doing with the doctors and that. Actually, I needed to take a good look at myself and really start to put some things in place in my life that wouldn't make me just focus all on work.
So talking about that, the honesty and the lying to yourself, that's quite a big part of this, right? You believe that a lot of men, like you say, self-medicate, try to numb it.
Yeah. You know, people that I work with now, a lot of them are people that start something but don't finish it.
Yeah.
Right? They're start-stoppers. So they go, I'm not going to drink for a month, or I'm not going to do this, or I'm not going to do that. But they then within 2 weeks they're back doing it. Right? So lack of discipline, lack of commitment, false promises. You know, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and actually, now how many times do you know men that go, yeah, I'm going to do this, and within 2 weeks, you know, I'm not you know, the reason I have the program is because it keeps me honest and it keeps me straight. So people lie, and when you actually say you lie, you think about all the little lies you tell. Yeah. Right, about I'm going to do this, or I'll do this, and you're not there, and you're not showing up.
Like the diet every month. Yeah. I'll start next Monday.
I'll start next month. And it's all these false little things, and then suddenly you next thing you know, something really does bad go wrong. Yeah. And actually, it's all a combination of multiple number of lies that you're kind of telling, and then you've got to start to be honest. And as part of the program, honesty is the absolute key thing. What you find is people get into a program and they think, yeah, I'm really excited, and then suddenly realise that, oh my god, I've got to be honest here. Yeah. And then they realise they've got to change. Yeah. And they go, yeah, I'm going to change, and within a few weeks they go, oh, this really means I've got to change, because I'm going to get called out on my crap by someone that's working with me. But that's good. The accountability probably keeps them going. And the accountability is there saying, and guys, just so you know, I've been where you are. Yeah. And the most important thing is, you know, most of the people, or all the people have been through a similar situation I have, and I've got the experience and I've got the scars and I've actually come through it. And you know, if I can help one person each day, then that serves my purpose. Because I realised that money wasn't serving my purpose. And it took me a long time to realise, actually, what serves my purpose is if I help somebody else. That's amazing. Yeah. And a lot of people do sort of like chase the money. Yeah. And you need to find your purpose in life. Yeah, you have to find your purpose. And it's kind of like, you know, like that airy-fairy, what is my purpose or my vision? But if you think about it, and as part of my program, helping somebody else is actually a key part to the program. Is kindness and being aware with other people. Is when I'm in a really bad state, and I get you go through it now, the stressful moments. What I realise is, rather than turn into a sedation method of drink or spending or that, what I do opposite is I go and do an act of kindness. Wow. Right. So if you do that, what that does, it gives you exactly the same feeling that sedation would have done. So if I go, right, okay, I'm going to go and message my wife and say I love her, or I'm going to text my son and say, look, I was really proud of the way you played football last night, or I'm just going to pick up the phone to my 90-year-old nan and go, how are you, nan? Yeah. The feeling of actually doing that gives you the same feeling as it would, but you won't have the hangover. And you've helped someone else. And you've helped someone else. Yeah. And it's a big part is self-awareness. Yeah. Just thinking through your actions. But it's interesting you say about the airy-fairy, because I'm sure a lot of guys sort of don't want to talk about it because they feel like, you know, they're wimps or they're weak or whatever, and then that's when they get in trouble. Yeah, you do, because you feel vulnerable, and men don't like being vulnerable. Yeah. They don't like saying, I'm struggling here. Yeah. And the problem is the barrier, the block comes up, and it's like, oh, and actually what it is the ego. Yeah. Right? The ego takes over, and your ego is your enemy, right? Sometimes, and the ego takes over, and your ego drives your behaviour, and you start to go, oh, hold on a minute, this is the ego talking, right? Because people don't want to show vulnerability, and do you know what? There is absolutely nothing wrong with showing some vulnerability, and in today's society, you look at men that have shown vulnerability. Look at them. Some of the biggest leaders in the world have shown vulnerability, have gone through tough times. don't need to be a hero.
No. And that's why it's good that you're doing this, because you've been there, you're a successful businessman. I mean, like, others can sort of aspire to be like you. And
if I can help one person, as I said, each day that makes them feel better and avoids them doing something that they might regret later on in life, then I've achieved what I'm set out to achieve here. And the more I can help people, the more, it can spread, and everyone else can actually start to help each other.
Yeah.
And the program for me, it's about enabling other people to be able to help each other. Because once you've been through something like this, like I've done, you take the tools that you've learned and you start to help out other people.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about the course? For people that are like imagining they want to start.
Okay, so the program, as it stands at the moment, is very much focused around 90 days. Mm-hmm. And what we work through as part of that 90 days is a framework and a system that enables you to be completely accountable to what you said you would do, right? And it's about being committed and focused. So we start with very much understanding where you are now, right? Where are you in your kind of core areas of your life? Your physical, your personal, your professional, and then what I call your power and your mindsets. Where are you against all of those areas? And if we start from that foundation, we can then start to unlock where you need to go and where you want to go as part of your 90-day program. And then we start to look at how we can set some real key outcomes or goals that you focus on over a 90-day period. And my job is to sit there and hold you to account, but also guide you through some of the challenges that you'll go as you start to go through change, because change is never easy for anyone, particularly when you're breaking habits of a lifetime. And we've got a system that you follow that enables you to break some of those habits, break all of those habits in fact, but also ensure you're not burning all your energy into one area.
Yeah.
Right, because what tends to happen is you go burn all into one thing. So you might go and sign up for a 12-week training fitness program, but then you'll drop everything else in your life. Or you might go and start to study a new piece of business, then you'll drop everything else in your life. Or you'll just focus everything on your home life, and then you'll drop your business. And what this is all about is creating that balance between all those areas, so you can achieve results in all areas, not just one.
Yeah. That sounds amazing. So for people that want to get involved, I can sort of like spread this. But you're on Facebook?
So on Facebook, Danny Wicks. On Facebook, Instagram, Danny Wicks. Twitter, Dan Wicks 7. They're the kind of three main. Also on LinkedIn, because a lot of people that I work with are within the corporate world as well. And if you're interested, just please drop me a message and I'm happy to talk to anyone. But the most important thing for me is it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
And a man in today's society that is sitting 4 years ago from where I was, there is way to actually change.
Yeah.
And I know it's hard for women and for other partners in that, but by telling someone to change, they'll never change. Someone has to be accountable themselves to change. And once they become really accountable themselves, they will then embark on that journey of change. And for a man, it's quite a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
It's not easy. And
you only started this year, and you've already got some top clients already, which is exciting.
So started this year. As I said, it's weird. This year is like 5 years since it all kind of happened, and it's been a real big journey. So it's been going this year. I've got some really, really big clients now from some top companies, and they're looking to how they can take my program and really offer it out to their staff as well. And I'll be honest with you, this isn't your standard corporate training program. It's quite real and raw. So it's not just airy fairy, use the word again.
Like keeping it real.
But it's real, and people want, what tends to happen is work with business owners that are owning quite large companies, and work with them initially. And the thing that happens here is, if you look at a business, what people try to do in a business is they fix the business. They try and look at how they can fix the business. But actually, when you look at a business owner, and you go say, right, is that business owner in the right place physically and personally and mentally to make those changes in the business? And actually what you've got to start is the individual first, and you work with the individuals and you work with them, and then they actually become like an athlete, because if you're running a highly stressful business, you've got to be an athlete, you've got to rest, you've got to have time to recover, you've got to have time to execute, you've got to do all these things. And so we create that capacity for you to then run your business, and then what happens is they see the benefits there and they want to then take it out to the rest of their business, because if they're doing it, they're leading by example.
Yeah.
Right? Leadership is leading by example, and if they're showing their staff that they're looking after themselves, that they're spending time with their family, that they're prioritising correctly, that they're becoming more productive, that they're emotionally intact. Imagine that message that goes out to all the staff that's working for them. They then feed off that, and it creates great morale in the business.
It's all about the human. I like that.
Yeah.
And if people get involved now, there's quite a lot of one-to-one with you, so they should definitely look you up. Right?
Yeah, so there's a lot of one-to-one with me at the moment, and it's very busy, which is really good. So no, really exciting.
Okay, well, look it up, Call Perform. Thank you so much, Danny.
Pleasure.
Thank you to Danny for being so open and honest and sharing his story. And good luck to the men who are trying to better themselves and recognising that they might need some help. It's okay to not be okay. Please keep talking. If there is anyone listening who would love to chat about finding love, self-love, or spreading love, then show love and get in touch. That's it for now. Love you for listening, and don't forget to show love. Thank you to Ollie Trevors for Saucy Naughty Rubbish and Danny Wright for staying in. Both great recording artists now on tour. Check them out. Thank you to Alex McCardle for his sound expertise. And please follow us on Instagram, Twitter or Facebook at Show Love UK. Another daily grind. So much to get through. I know I'll start it in a minute or two. Let's plan it all in my head. Procrastination, self-stimulation, instant gratification. I'm self-medicating, therapists recommending more meditating, wasted education. I need more admiration, and I don't wanna bother with today. I pretty much missed it anyway. Might as well stay, and I don't wanna bother with today. I pretty much missed it anyway. Might as well stay, and I'm staying in. Calm down with me. Repeated on channel 3. I watch it cause I'm feeling hungry. Try and shift the mood, so I order Chinese food. Said fuck it, just keep the change, dude. Finance situation, spent on dedication. Dreams of Wembley Stadium and my name carved in the pavement.